Hull City will be playing away at Mansfield Town this time next year, unless something is done very quickly. That is the view of most of the fans, and hopefully now it's 100% on here. It's the view of this team as well. Welcome back to Where Tigers Walk. We are, of course, talking about the Luton game. We are recording this before the Sheffield Wednesday game. However, we've got lots to discuss this week. We're also looking at the Christmas fixture list, out of contract players for June, because we're talking, of course, about January transfer window and discussions that need to be had, and the FA Cup third round draw is being made next week. Who do Hull want? Not that you could care less about any of that at all. Let's go into the main talking point then. Ben, I'll say this as bluntly as this tweet has said. Lee Jarvis says, sorry, we will be relegated with this fraud manager. He has zero respect for the fans or the club. Ben, I was half expecting us to be talking about your new manager at this point. Why aren't we?
I think he's just Atchon's just too naive. He's just unwilling to go back on such a poor decision that he's made. Doesn't want egg on his face, even though it's what it needs to be done at this point. It really does. All the fans are in agreement. I don't know anyone that wants him still here, but I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to put up with it for at least another few months.
Jack, would you take a Middlesbrough 8-0 loss on Saturday to get rid of him?
I mean, I was thinking this over the week off. I'd sacrifice a really bad loss just to get rid of him. I don't care who it's against. Yes, I would take an 8-0 loss against Middlesbrough if we could sacrifice one game, and then hopefully it'll pay dividends.
Well, it's not inconceivable, is it, given the way that Middlesbrough are scoring at the moment? And of course, Sheffield Wednesday, we don't know how that's gone, Matty, but I don't want to sound too boring on this, talking about the same thing overall, but you're in the relegation zone now, mate.
Yeah, and it's irrelevant how we play. We are getting the results. So, we could get 8-0. We could play really well against Middlesbrough. We'll probably still lose 1-0. Or, we don't know what the outcome is. It's scary. Yeah, we're in a relegation zone. We are in a relegation battle at the moment if it stays as it is. If we don't change and get somebody new in just to give the players a bit of confidence, we are in a massive relegation battle. Despite how well we did play on Saturday, it ain't good enough. We're looking like we're going behind in games, and that just sucks the confidence out of us. That's now 8 games without a victory, and we've gone behind, obviously, in quite, I think, 4 or 5 of them, and we don't look like getting back into the game. We can huff and puff and try and do whatever. We're just lacking so much confidence and quality that, it's just, we're in a battle. We're in a battle, unfortunately.
I mean, we know that the performance was improved somewhat, Ben, but still only 2 shots on target, and the first one of those was on 75 minutes. So we're not talking, massive leaps in terms of quality performance, are we? We're getting better, but you're going down at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same case in every game. Like the last few, we've seen decent-ish performances. It's just not working. Especially against Luton, I think we were probably the better team for most of it. We were just not clinical. Couldn't really create clear-cut chances like most other teams can against us. It's just, I don't really know what can be done in the same style of like football to change. I think it just needs to be a clean slate and go again, to be completely honest with you.
Okay. There was a comment on last week's video that Ashton watches videos like this. Okay, so Jack, if your chairman's watching now, talk directly to the camera. What message do you want him to take?
Sort it out. I mean, it's as blunt as I can say, really. Just sort it out. I mean, he's got us into this mess, so it's his. He can't bury his head in the sand. He needs to know what the problem is and he needs to deal with it.
I haven't seen any Ashton tweets Ashton out stuff, Matty. But Scott says, when we had the Allens, they actively hated the fan base. Ashton doesn't. He's brought the crowds back and he wants to get the club to the Premier League. He's made some mistakes, but he needs to rectify them. Walter out, I can get behind. Ashton out blows my mind. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I do agree with that. I have seen a few tweets about people saying he needs to go as well, but you know, he has brought back. He did bring back the feel good factor, and he's obviously brought back all the fans and stuff like that. And you know, we did have a real connection last season with fans and the team, and you know, we had a manager that obviously played for us and had a real connection with the fans. We just don't have a connection with it, and he's not doing himself any favors by the actions that he's doing. So I don't agree with that. I think we would be in a better place if we would be in a worse place if we didn't have Ajahn in charge. He's made a mistake, obviously getting rid of Rosenior. He's made a mistake, Walter, but he's obviously does. I think he's probably distracted with the Fenerbahce thing as well at the minute. I think we need somebody who's there just committed to us all the time, and he's not at the minute. So you know that doesn't help. You know we haven't restructured the chairman situation. So you know we're in a bit of a disarray in terms of that. We look totally disorganised in terms of that and where we're going. So it does need to. It does need to sort that out before we move forward. You know, it does need to sort all that club thing out. The fans are there, and we're wanting success. We're desperate for success. You know, we finished 7th last year. That was success for us. I don't think we're expecting that. You know, that's what we want to be doing every season. We want to be pushing up towards the playoffs, and the fans will follow him if he just gets the decisions right and stop being stubborn ass with this one. Get rid of Walter.
Absolutely. It's too big of a club to end up in League One. Not again. It cannot happen. Some of the ones on the game then, Ben. This is one. Tim Clark says Omer shouldn't be anywhere near the first team. Thoughts on that?
I mean, to be completely honest, he's not done. I was going to say he's not done a real lot. He's not done anything. He's not scored. He's not got an assist. He played well toward the back end of last season because obviously we got him in January last year, but he's not really done a great deal for such a talked about sign and such a hyped up player. He's not really warranted to start ahead of someone like Casey Palmer or even like a Ryan Longman at the minute, to be honest.
A couple more, Jack. Lennon says, I shouldn't go and get Steve Cooper, I beg. You having that one?
I mean, it did wonders with Nottingham Forest, but I don't know. I'll take any manager at the moment. I think he was when Rosenior was sacked and he was on the market. I was thinking, you know what, Steve Cooper would be quite a good option here. So why not?
Okay. All right. Be careful with saying you take any manager because there's some.
Well, to some extent, yeah.
There's Michael Beale out there and things like that, isn't there? Right. Okay. They could get worse. And this is the tweet. This is a favourite tweet of all season from any club, and this is just genius. Booth Ferry to Wembley. It's last Christmas we had Rosie in charge, but the very next May he took him away. This year we're all full of tears. So please will you sack Tim Walter? I wish I could sing it, but I don't have the right singing voice, and that is classic. Right, let's move on from this chat then, shall we? Sheffield Wednesday this Tuesday night, Middlesbrough next Saturday. By the time we meet again next Sunday, he'll be gone. I'm almost certain of it. It's got to happen. We don't wish managers ill, but when you're walking down the tunnel at Luton and not doing any acknowledgement to the fans, I don't care whether you're going to worry about being abused or not. You just go and do it, don't you, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, his excuse was because he was wet and it was cold. That's why he didn't go over to the fans.
He is wet. The big wet blanket. Yeah.
I think that's just the icing on the cake. Is you just can't. You can't, like, you can admit that you didn't go over, but you can't just say, "Oh, I was wet. Sorry, I didn't go over. I was wet." You've travelled all the way from Hull down to Luton. It's a horrible place. I was wet. I've just got to go in and get changed. Terrible, honestly terrible.
Says it all, doesn't it? All right, let's move on from this discussion. Then let's look at Hull's Christmas fixtures as they are just around the corner. 8 games or 9 games in 30 days if you count New Year's Day against Middlesbrough. 2 double headers here, of course. Middlesbrough twice in a month and Blackburn twice in a month as well. I'm not sure there's great scheduling there. Jack, do you look at this and think there's some opportunities for us here to get out of trouble, especially the home games?
Not really. We play West at home, so that's out of the equation. But yeah, every good team there, you'd think would have some sort of chance, but we're in the relegation zone, and I thought we'd have a good chance against Luton. They'd have a good chance against Oxford, all these teams, and look where we are right now. So unless something happens, including sacking a manager, then I don't see anything good happening from this. I mean, it's just sit and wait with crossed fingers here.
Matt, are you any more optimistic than young Jack?
Tough, innit? You're looking at those fixtures there. That it is tough. You know, you've got Watford there, and Blackburn are still pushing up the higher table. Swansea have given run Leeds close today. Coventry seem to have picked up on Saturday against Sheffield United. You're looking at it thinking, well, yeah, we can put in a good performance against all those teams, but are we going to get the result? And the way we're playing at the moment, I can't see us getting many results against those teams that are there. I think the only kind of bit of chink of light, I suppose, is that the Championship is just one of those leagues that we could win the next 3 games quite easily because I don't think the quality is there as it has been in previous years. So we could quite easily turn over Sheffield Wednesday, Middlesbrough flying. Could go up there. We've historically done all right up at Middlesbrough. So but looking at it on paper in the current form, you would be thinking, where is that next win coming from? But the Championship, in it, we could be in playoffs after Christmas.
Absolutely. There are some very poor sides. At least a quarter of the Championship could go down this year as well. All right, good for that then. So let's have a look at the out of contract players, because we're starting to think about January transfers, and of course that's going to weigh on people's minds as who you might lose in the summer or who you might want to say goodbye to. Ben, these are there's four permanent players which are out of contract. Pedro, Sinek, Longman, and Jarvis are out of contract in the summer. Do any of those 4 get a new deal for you? Let's imagine that you do survive.
The 2 that I'd probably be more inclined to give a new deal would be João Pedro and Ryan Longman. Sinek is just an absolute lost cause at this point. I've seen that apparently he's also out injured again after just literally coming back from a previous injury. Will Jarvis, I don't think he really wants to be here. I think he'd much rather be back in Ireland with Shelbourne. So yeah, I think João Pedro, but he's getting on. It's whether he would want to stay, and I don't know how much his wage will be. It'd probably be like to the upper end of the wage bill. But yeah, to be honest, a lot of them for me aren't massive. I know there's some of the loans which could potentially be permanent at the end of the season, but a lot of them aren't like massive losses really.
Okay. What about the loans then, Jack? Would you want offers in for any of them in green?
Poeta, and well, we haven't really seen much from Burns. Zambrano's been a bit of a lost cause really towards the end, and he's got a ban, so I won't be seeing him. And Chris Padilla, I don't know what it is about him. I just really don't like him. I know he can if he gets the ball past him in his position, he can score, but other than that, he can't do anything. So, and Rushworth, where is he? I mean, we brought in this goalkeeper, this new manager, and he's not even on the bench. So, is he on the reserves? Is he ever mentioned?
I think he's injured or something.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's back, but yeah.
But again, he'll never get a chance. But yeah, out of all those, Poeta, because I think he's probably been the best out of all of them.
Okay. Matt, did you disagree with anything that's been said by Ben or Jack?
No, I totally agree. I think I probably put the mockers on Pedro the other week, saying if he gets the service, he'll get his 10 goals. And then what did he do Saturday? Oh, so that's last time I predict anything on here. So,
Predict us to go down. Predict us to go
yeah,
down.
that might help. No, I probably agree with the lads there. I mean, we haven't. I think Zambrano showed it in spurts when he has played, but if he's going to be banned, that's completely pointless. And I agree with Ben. I think Ryan Longman probably deserves a chance. He's still only a young lad. He went on loan at Millwall last year. I believe he had a good season. So there is something there with him. It's just getting him to be consistent. But I wouldn't go out on a limb to sign any of the others. I wouldn't be desperate to say, for them to stay. So, yeah.
Okay, great shouts. Thank you very much. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. We love how quickly you're helping us grow. That's hugely appreciated. Drop us a I've done it wrong there. Corinne Jacob, drop us a like as well. Final question this week is about the FA Cup. We're going to ask you all to choose your dream tie as the draw is made next weekend. I'm guessing none of you care too much about the cup this year and just want to exit it as quickly and as painlessly as possible. But go along with it anyway. Ben, how would you want the balls to fall, so to speak?
It's Premier League teams get added as well, don't they?
That's right.
Yeah. To be honest, just somewhere that's a good away day, really. I know we'd probably get absolutely hammered, but I wouldn't mind Liverpool, Man United, Man City. Just give it a go, I suppose. One of them, it's a good ground to go to and all that sort of stuff. So one of the big teams.
Jack?
Yeah, again, I mean, everyone's going to say the top 6 teams, but probably Arsenal away for me. Give it a bit of revenge from 2013 or 2014 when the beat us in the FA Cup final, and plus it's a nice stadium and it's a nice area. So yeah, I think Arsenal away.
Okay, Matty.
Sorry, lads. No, not a Premier League team. We'll end up getting somebody, a Watford or somebody at home. Gainsborough Trinity are still in the draw, aren't they? I think they played Harrogate at the weekend, so hopefully they get through. It's kind of local to us, and it's just over the bridge. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Away at Gainsborough Trinity. I'd quite fancy that. But like Ben said, for me, anyone in League 1 or League 2 would be fine. Away day. So yeah.
Okay. All right. You know it's going to be QPR away, don't you, or something like that?
Yeah. Man City away. Man City away will be brilliant.
Grimsby away.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah.
That's all right. It's a decent draw.
Scunthorpe must be out of it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Let us know in the comments who you would want. Are they right to say just get us out of the competition as quick as possible? Or is that defeating the whole purpose and joy of the cup? Let us know what you think. Thank you very much, you three. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you the other side of these 2 big games this week, Sheffield Wednesday and Middlesbrough. Good luck. Let's see how they go. Watch out, Walter.